radio for all.
You are now live with the Humble Prince on Sahara FM Radio. Yeah.
Yep, we're back live with the Humble Prince on Sahara FM Radio. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Right now we have the callback segment where we would like to hear from you guys. And for this segment, we want to know, well, first of all, how bad of me. Please, let's introduce our callback segment extraordinaire, the beautiful Adeola Fayehun. Adeola, welcome. Nice to have you back.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, thank you very much. And of course, we've been joined by my guest co-host, who's the founder and executive director of Pathfinders Justice Initiative and organizer of Bring Back Our Girls New York, Ruth Evon Idahosa. Evon, thank you so much. Evon, so this is basically your segment. I'm going to let you definitely just run the show and everything. We wanted to find out, first of all, how many days has it been that the Chibok girls has been kidnapped?
It's been 471 days today. Yeah.
Wow.
So
over a year plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, April 14th was a year. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's sad, man. It's a shame that these girls haven't been found. And, you know, well, guys, would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts about that? 479 days later, there's still no... Like, is there even any updates? I mean, the number to call is 917-284-9811. We'll definitely like to hear from you. Please tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there hasn't really been any updates.
Right.
I mean, I think the last thing we heard was probably in February when there was a claim that one of the former Boko Haram abductees had indicated that she had seen the Chibok girls in the custody of Boko Haram members, but nothing has happened since then, and there hasn't been, you know, nothing from the government. I was really hopeful, I think, when Buhari came into became the president, because you know, it seemed as if there was going to be a lot of action around this, but. You know, I'm trying to be patient, but I think it's only fair to give him, you know, for him to, you know, put everything in place to get the best result. But there has been absolutely no update.
Yeah, Adeola, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. It's been 2 months now, you know, that he became president. And I remember speaking with one of the APC members when we went to Washington, D.C., Honorable Farouk Adamu. And I was like, what's the latest updates with the Chibok girls? Because we don't even know what is happening anymore. There's no updates, no nothing. We don't know exactly what is being done regarding the girls.
Right.
And he said that Nigerians should know that Buhari is working behind the scenes about this, that very soon Nigerians will be surprised. And he was trying to say that what they're trying to do is that definitely the Chibok girls are in the custody of Boko Haram and they are alive. And that according to him, and he said what Buhari is trying to do is to make sure that they get them alive, that he's trying to negotiate some things just to get them out alive, because Boko Haram can open fire at any time. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That just sounds like what we've heard, you know, in the past. This just sounds like the same story that's being repeated, you know, again, right? Is that the impression that you got as well?
That's the impression that I got. At the same time, like you said, I'm trying to give him, you know, that, okay, he just became president, let's see. If, personally, I feel like whatever they need to do to get them out alive, but every day counts, like every minute, you know, means something. It means another girl being raped and stuff like that.
But I wanted to ask you real quick. There's still some people that have doubts that these girls were even ever kidnapped to begin with. How do you address those people?
I mean, it's just such an insult, you know, to the parents who we know are actually grieving and going through all of this. You know, I mean, I've met several of the parents, and we actually met some of the girls who actually escaped as well, the 57 girls that actually escaped. And so to say that this is not really happening, you know, either you're really in denial or you just have absolutely a complete disconnect from the sufferings of other people. You know, it's just, it's infuriating to me when I hear people say that. Even some of, you know, my extended family members have said, you know, said things like that, and I'm like, I mean, what's your reality?
You know, there were multiple media outlets that said, you know, this thing really did happen. So I don't know why people are getting the stuff from that, that.
Well, on the government report, there was a government report as well, right? That
Right.
came out in June, I think, of last year, that acknowledged the kidnapping of the girls. So
Not just the kidnapping of the girls, but the death of some of the parents as well. Like parents are dying literally from just thinking about what happened to their daughters.
Right.
But another thing that is bothering me is the fact that, there was a time that they started rescuing some girls that were kidnapped by Boko Haram, like hundreds of girls, women and children.
This was in May, right?
Yeah. And as soon as that happened, some people were like relaxed that, okay, at least we found some girls. But it's like, but that's not all of them.
Exactly.
I mean, I know the family members of those that were found are rejoicing, but families of those that have not been found are still mourning, hoping and praying that their daughters will be found. But I feel like a lot of Nigerians have now relaxed that, okay, at least they recovered some girls. And also there are those that are disputing that, well, if the girls were really kidnapped, they would have recovered them as well. So those things bother me, the fact that some people have relaxed in terms of, putting fire within the Nigerian government and getting them to find these girls, whatever it would take. So that bothers me.
Yeah, you know what bothers me too. First of all, let me commend you and Buki for doing a fantastic job in keeping this in the forefront and keeping this in the news. Because at one time there was a huge frenzy on social media. Everybody had the hashtag from Barack Obama to his wife to everybody in Nigeria. But it just seems like all that has just died down. It's like nobody really cares except organizations like yours and the ones in Nigeria. And I know I really like to get Buki on the show too because I know they met with the president. And I really wanted to know. Did you speak to you about that and what was the outcome of that meeting?
I mean, I think that the takeaway for the group, and this was July 8th, I believe it was, was that they felt validated, by the president because, he apparently sat there and just gave them his full attention. They were there with some of the...
Buhari?
Yeah,
yes.
President Buhari. And, there were some of the parents, Chibok parents that were actually there. He listened, he took notes, he had no prepared speech. And so I think there was a sense that, this president was actually listening to what we were saying and validated the fact that, some of the things that we've been advocating for over the last year are actually very true. And there was a sense that, he was committed to the process and that he would do everything that he could possibly do. So I think on the heels of all the things that have been happening, he fired all the top military heads. He, met with the president here. He, has been visiting all the presidents around that have been working with the multinational task force. It seems as if he's actually trying to get all the support and put all the things in place to have to put Nigeria in the best position to eradicate Boko Haram. But is that going to happen? Is that his priority? I mean, I think that's yet to be seen.
I like what she said about the president giving them audience too, because I remember during President Jonathan, the Brimaka girls protesters were not allowed to enter Aso Rock. As a matter of fact, policemen were sent to prevent them from getting close to Aso Rock. And I remember there was a time that the Nigerian government sponsored their own protesters to protest against the protesters. That was a mess.
Unbelievable.
So it's good to finally have a president that will actually let them come in and,
I mean, it was historic, I think, too, because this is the first time that any high official government has actually engaged with a civil society group in Nigeria. And so for the president to actually take the time and to really help them feel heard and validated, I think, rejuvenated a lot of people within the campaign because, I mean, like I said, 471 days later, it's hard to keep the momentum going, but I think for the fact that you have parents, I'm able to look at my daughter, every night. And I just imagine what somebody who hasn't seen their child in all this time is going through and the agony that they must be suffering. Like you said, there's been 18 parents that have died. 18 parents have died so far. Yeah.
Wow. That's just really sad, man. Wow. Guys, please, I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Do you think the girls will ever be found? Are they lost forever? Should the world move on? I mean, I know that sounds callous in itself, but we just have to face reality here. The number to call is 917-284-9811. So let me ask you guys real quick, because I know we have to round up. Adeola, what are your thoughts? Do you think the girls will ever be found?
Of course, I think the girls can be found if the government would do what it's supposed to do on time.
Right, that's a lot of girls.
A lot of people
Over
have
a year,
testified that they're alive. They know where those girls are.
Right.
So why not?
Yeah,
She
I mean, we
said-
really need to
If I
act
was
with
one of them, I
things.
wouldn't want anybody to give up
Yeah.
hope on me.
Thank you.
I would.
Thank you very
I
much.
would want people to still believe I would be found.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I can only imagine what those girls are going through. It has to be gruesome.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing is, you know, we have. I just want to emphasize the fact that we need to continue to act with a sense of urgency. I mean, every
Yes,
single day
like-
we're hearing about girls that
Right.
are being used as suicide bombers. I mean, I can't even imagine what it must be like to be walking towards a crowded market with bombs strapped to you, knowing that this is going to be it. You know, and so this is the reality of what these girls are facing,
Yeah.
and what in some ways Nigeria has been allowing to continue.
To happen, yeah.
You know,
Boko Haram is just, I mean, and that's one of the things I have against the last administration, man. I'm sorry, but Boko Haram just grew balls. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you kidnap over 200
Yeah.
girls and just like, just,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we had
nothing-
Jonathan say that he underestimated Boko Haram. You know, I mean, the fact that you can actually make that admission is, I mean, it's embarrassing in and of itself, I think.
Yeah, we can't. I'm sorry. It's just sad. You know, some girls were actually not the Shabbat girls, but some girls that they kidnapped before, I guess, were released, and those were the girls that they said were, I think, impregnated by some of them. I
Yeah.
guess that was a success story, but you know, we need to find out
Yeah.
where the
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, there is, like Adeola was mentioning, there is a sense of jubilation for those families
Right.
because, you know, you are thankful and grateful that some children were rescued. But these
Right.
girls they're not coming back in any sort of frame of mind remotely close to how they left. I mean, you know, from what we understand, there were over 200 of the 1,000 that were pregnant. A lot of them were HIV positive. A lot of them, you know, were malnutritioned. A lot of them, you know, it's like, you know, to me, the agony of not only having endured what you've gone through, but then having to give birth to a child whose face consistently reminds you of hate and the worst part of your life must
Yeah.
be like the worst agony of all, you know. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody's listening. I mean, if any government officials are listening, I just implore you to please act with a sense of urgency. I mean, people ask me all the time, you know, what can I do? How can I help? I always say this exact same thing. What would you do? This was your child. If this was your daughter.
Yeah.
If this was your mother. I mean, would you really just, you know, hold up a placard? Would that be it? Would you just talk to your next door neighbor about it a year ago and then be able to move on with your life? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I have no connection to Chibok. I don't have to. You know, these are Nigerians, and I think this also goes back to why I was so emphatic about, you know, our prior caller. There's, you know, I mean, our guest on the show. I mean, it's important that we rally together, you know, to really, really come together and try to get rid of this situation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yvonne. Real quick, what are some of the things Bring Back Our Girls New York is doing?
Oh,
Any
I mean,
events
we
coming
have the 500 days that's sadly going to be coming up very soon. So we're planning something to try to continue the awareness on this particular subject. But really, I mean, all it takes is people talking about this. I mean, there is a website that, and we have an awareness raiser. So there are numbers 1 through 219 that you can actually purchase, so that when people see you wearing your number, they can ask you, like, what is that all about? And you can actually start talking about it. And so that's something that people can continue to do, in addition to writing to the legislators here, asking them to put pressure on the Nigerian government. I mean, if Buhari was here to meet with President Jonathan to actually talk about this issue, then there needs to be pressure. I'm sorry, President Obama.
Right.
Then there needs to be continued pressure to try to get rid of
I
this.
actually thought, like, when he came, I thought, like, if he's really, I mean, he said he's concerned, but I thought that he would at least, like, bring, like, maybe 1 or 2 of the parents of the Chibok girls.
That would have been, that would have been
That
good.
would have made a lot of impact.
That
Like,
would have been nice,
like,
yeah.
okay, really, he wants to fight. He wants to get these girls back. Like, people would know that he
was very
means
serious.
business.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so guys, you know, let's continue to hope for the best and everything. Sorry, it's just sad, man, and you know, I'm glad that you guys said it will be found. And yes, these girls will be found. So girls, we haven't forgotten you, and we'll continue to put pressure on the Nigerian government. They have to find you guys. So we're going to take a break real quick, and when we come back, we're going to round up the show. But we have another segment. We just want to discuss. My guest co-host here doesn't like an advert that she saw in the New York subway. So guys, if we could put that on the screen real quick. Adeola, this was her idea, not mine.
Ride me like idiots with the pololo.